Back out on the high streets looking for games. I've got some, but am I happy? Alright everyone, hope you are doing well. Thanks for pressing play once again. I'm Man Nicole Pixel Paul, and I've been finally back out, hitting the high street looking for games. So yeah, no gimmicks this week, no gaming markets, no car boot sales, no online purchases, just purely back to going out onto the high street, in this instance mainly Bury in the UK, looking for games. And I've not done that for a while. I think partly because I was saving up and trying not to buy too many games since the turn of the year because of the gaming market in Bolton coming up. So I've not done it as often as maybe I did last year to this point. So it was kind of nice to get back out there, just back onto the regular high street in Bury, like I said, and just go for a look around and see what I can find. And I have found some stuff, but I'm not sure if I'm happy or not. I don't know. I think I've picked up some decent games actually. So yeah, I think I am happy with it. But there's one or two where I'm like, maybe you should have left it. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a quick look at my sort of adventures out onto the high streets of Bury. So before heading to Bury, I went to Smyths Toy Superstore and had a quick look at the games in there. And they had some clearance games. Nothing huge or major to talk about there. I didn't pick any of these up. But nice to see some in there. Nice to see that they're still doing them. PlayStation 5 had some price reductions on some of these games. Some of them are alright. One in particular caught my eye. And I did manage to pick one up, but I'll show you that back in the games room. Sonic Origins down to $15.99 now. Tomb Raider collection as well down to $16.99, which is quite a nice price on that. Star Wars Outlaws down to $21.99, that's gradually coming down in price. Much the same with the Xbox One games and Xbox Series X games. Then we went to Bury, had a quick bite to eat first, and then off on a hunt. Cash generator first, and they had some decent stuff in here. Beautiful Katamari on the Xbox 360, they've had that in a while in there for a bit now. It's about £17 that one. They also had quite a few PlayStation games as well. Nice copy of Spyro, Platinum Edition, $14.99 on that one. Jersey Devil as well. And this one caught my eye. I've been after this for a while. Gekido, still $29.99 on that. And then this copy of Mortal Kombat 4, nice condition. Manual was a bit tatty, $59.99 they're asking for that one. This caught my attention, Resident Evil Steelbook. Picked that up not that long ago and got it for cheaper than that. Was tempted by this one, $6.99 on this, not got that. Decided to leave it though. Found this in a charity shop, only £3, what was it, £3.25 on it, but really bad condition. It's a shame, it's a Steelbook, you know I love a Steelbook. But it just wasn't worth picking up. It was really battered. The steelbook was battered and scratched. So left that one. On to Cash Converters now. And yeah, the stock in here is dwindling a little bit. But it felt like there was quite a few sort of cheap buys in here. So I had a good rummage around, found a few. This was an interesting one, only $1.99 on this, Theme Park World on PlayStation, no front cover, and the case was incomplete. I decided to leave it, but I suppose you could Frankenstein a box together. Off to CEX then, CEX Berry. Quite a lot of retro. Bomberman 2 there was not in great condition, £50 on that. Some nice PlayStation 2 games down here, Godzilla, Bloody Roar as well. Quite pricey again though. And then this lovely condition copy of Grand Theft Auto Collector's Edition, £65 on that. Absolutely incredible condition on that. I've seen some really rotten copies of that, but that was really good. So yeah, some nice stuff in the front window of CEX Berry. Let's go and take a look inside. Not a huge amount to shout about PlayStation 3 wise. They did have this copy of Under Defeat HD Deluxe Edition, £28 on that. Supposed to be a half decent shooter, that one. Not loads of PSP games at the moment. I did forget that they had that though, The Crow, for £4. I did think to pick that up, but obviously forgot about it. Nothing really stood out PlayStation 2 games wise either. Not loads there. And again, Xbox 360 was a little bit underwhelming as well. Just the two sort of rows of shelving for Xbox 360. Not loads of stock in here. And moving back around the corner to Nintendo. Again, nothing really spectacular Nintendo wise, Wii U or Wii. But I did spot this in the Xbox section, a game I've been after for a while, at Doom 3 Collector's Edition Steelbook. £6 on it, but condition was just absolutely awful. Outer sleeve was broken, grubby, and the Steelbook itself was really rusty. I was tempted because I am after this one, but it was just too badly conditioned. It just wasn't worth picking up, sadly. So that was out and about, mainly in Bury, and you know, if you're in the UK at the moment, you'll know that we've been having absolutely gorgeous weather. So it was nice to go out game shopping and it not be chucking it down or be horrible. It was really nice out there. So yeah, it made for a nice day. And I picked up some games. So let's go into them. The first one actually, this was from Smyths Toys Superstore. I'd seen that they have had a little bit of a price reduction on some of their games recently. I think mainly because it's half term here and you've got the Easter holidays coming up. So they quite often will do some deals on some of their games. There was also some clearance games there, which I've seen in the past there before. I've done pretty well with Smyths Toys and some of their clearance stuff. But I must admit, the stuff that they had this time was a little bit underwhelming, a little bit disappointing. Nothing worth really picking up or playing. No sort of profit margin on any of them, if I wanted to flip them either. So yeah, clearance stuff, I just left that. But there was one game that I went specifically for. I've been thinking about trying this game or trying out these games for a little bit. Just been waiting for a nice price on it, and it did get a reduction. So the game is the Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection. 7 games on this, and it's PlayStation 5 version. I paid $14.99 for it, which is pretty cheap. CEX is still selling this at the moment for $25. So yeah, it's a decent price for that. I think it's come down before to about $19.99, something like that. So another $5 off it. And at that price, yeah, I thought I wouldn't mind giving this a go. Right, so I gave this a go as well, not long after picking it up. And the only one on this collection, and it includes, so I'll go through them very quickly. Jurassic Park Game Boy, Jurassic Park NES version, Jurassic Park on the SNES, also the Sega, this Mega Drive version. And there's also Rampage, which was also for the Mega Drive. There was Jurassic Park 2 Chaos Continues, which I think is another Game Boy game. And then Jurassic Park 2 Chaos Continues 16-bit. So I think, again, that was another Mega Drive game. So of these games, I've only actually ever played the first Game Boy game, which is all right. I think that Game Boy game's all right. It's not too bad, and it sort of translates well enough on this collection. I played the SNES version, and that's not too bad. But I've got to be honest, the rest of them are pretty ropey. They're not great. I wasn't overly impressed with the other games. I will probably try and play through the SNES version of Jurassic Park on this. But I am thinking of a quick trade-in on this one because, like I said, CEX are selling this for 25 at the moment, and they'll actually give you 16 trade-in. So I'll get my money back in £1 and a penny. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that one, possibly thinking now I should pick something else up. But if you don't try, if you don't know, you don't give it a go, you just don't know, do you? So yeah, a little bit disappointed with that one. Not to worry. So I also heard that I went to a actual game store in the Trafford Centre. Now, many of you who have watched my previous sort of pickups videos will know that I used to go to Game quite often. All the pre-owned stock stopped being sold, and Game is gradually dying away. Really, it really is. Now, the Game in the Trafford Centre is one of the very few sort of standalone stores now, and sadly, that one is also now closing. So they have started to reduce some of the games. What they've started to do is they've pretty much put posters up, and I didn't get any footage of it, sadly. They put posters up saying, I think it was 20% off all full price marked games, which I thought was a little bit odd. You just think it would be 20% off everything. So I had to just clarify it with a member of staff and just sort of ask, because obviously in Game, you have all the full-priced newer stuff perhaps, and then you also have games which have been sort of slightly reduced, marked down in price a little bit. So I wasn't quite sure if they meant, is it literally just the very full-priced top-end games that had got 20% off, or is it everything? And the person I asked said, yeah, it's just the full-price games. Anything with a red sticker on has already been marked down, so you don't get anything else on top of that. Which was a shame, because there was one or two there. If they had been doing 20% off those, there were some bargains, to be fair, but they weren't. So I found two games anyway that didn't have like a knocked down price on them, and thought maybe they're worth picking up because they were quite cheap. And these two games were, so I got on the PlayStation 4, Portal Knights. It wasn't $24.99. This was a copy that they picked up from behind the counter. It was on the shelf at $3.99. Sorry, no, $4.99. So with the 20% off, it was about £4. So yeah, I picked up that one for £4. I think CEX are selling this for £5 at the moment. So I thought that was quite a nice little pickup, that one. I've not played this before, so yeah, quite happy to get that one. And then the other one was on PlayStation 5, and this is a game that's dirt cheap anyway, but with the marked off price, I thought, well, at that price, I'll just give it a go, pick it up. And it's Alex 2. It's a bit of an open world RPG, I think. It's supposed to be better than the first one. I don't know a huge amount about it, other than it's always been really, really cheap. So this one was $3.99, 20% off. It was about £3.20, something like that. And yeah, that was the thing. So neither of these two had those stickers on, but they still took the 20% off. So is it off everything, or isn't it off everything? Who knows? They just don't seem to. It's typical Game. One person says one thing, you go and buy, and they do completely the opposite. Can I be bothered going back and having a look through what is left? Well, no, not at the moment. I can't. If they marked everything down to 40%, suddenly then you're sort of looking and thinking there's some decent buys if you can get 40% off them. But yeah, anyway, so I got 20% off both of those two games. Paid less than £7 then for both of those two. So quite happy with that. And we'll see what those two are like. Cheers, everyone. Okay, so these are now the pickups that I got from Berry. I had a quick look in Cash Generator. There was a couple of things in there actually. There was a very sort of reasonably looking sort of condition version of Mortal Kombat 4 on the PlayStation. And yeah, it looked in reasonable condition. I had a quick look at the instruction booklet, and the instruction booklet was a little bit tatty, but not too bad. But they were asking $59.99 for that. Seemed pretty steep for what it was. I don't know what the current going rate for that is on CEX. I'll find out and put it here. It's probably around that ballpark figure, I would imagine. But I left that. But yeah, there's a few other sort of nice PlayStation games in there as well. But didn't pick anything up from there. So what I did pick up was from Cash Converters. And these were all pretty cheap and cheerful, to be fair. The last time I went in there, they've gradually been sort of the stock has been dwindling for games, but either these are the same games and they've marked them down a little bit. I'm not sure, because there still wasn't loads in there, but these seem sort of nicely priced, if you like. So I got Rage on the PlayStation 3, and that one was £1. Rage is £1.50 CEX at the moment. Good game, Rage. Very sort of underrated. Not enough people played that. I enjoyed it back in the day. So yeah, Rage for £1. You can't argue with that, can you? I also took a little bit of a gamble on this one. I wasn't 100% sure how much it was going to be in CEX, but I paid $4.99 for it, and it was at Ninja Turtles Danger of the Ooze, also on PlayStation 3. I paid $4.99 for that, and I did alright because that's a £6 game in CEX at the moment. So yeah, we'll see what this one's like. I'm assuming more kind of hack and slash, beat 'em up kind of territory with this game, but nice and complete, nice condition to be fair. So yeah, not a bad one, that one. Always nice to pick up a Turtles game because you know what you're going to get most of the time, as long as it's not one of those cheap Wii or Nintendo DS games. So yeah, I'll see what that one's like. Nice price on that. I also picked up, just because, well, I mean, I've got it on PlayStation 4. There was a couple of stories going around this week about a third entry into this series, and I'm well there for that. If they do a third one, I will be straight on it, because the second game is absolutely amazing. And like I said, I played it on PlayStation 4, loved it, and the Xbox One version of it is really, really cheap. So I thought, well, I'm just going to pick up this version as well. Titanfall 2 on the Xbox One, and I paid 99p for it. Now, why some games are 99p and some are £1, who knows? I don't know how they decide on some of these prices, but anyway. So yeah, Titanfall 2 on the Xbox One, 99p. Yeah, whether I'll play it again, I'm not sure, but it is an amazing game. And if they do Titanfall 3, yeah, I can't wait for that. That would be absolutely amazing. I think it's just rumours at the moment. It's just rumours sort of floating around on the internet, but yeah, let's get it. Let's have that Titanfall 3. It deserves another sequel, that one. Great game. I also picked up on PlayStation 4 Trials Fusion, and this is the Awesome Max Edition. Paid $3.99 for that. I couldn't find this specific edition on CEX's app, but Trials Fusion at the moment goes for £5, so $3.99 paid for that. That's not too bad either. It's basically, this has got like season passes and unicorns and cats. And as you can see on the front cover, there is a unicorn being ridden by a cat. So, yeah, Trials is good though. Trials is a good game. It's a nice pick up and play. Usually very frustrating, but yeah, nice one for the collection, that one. And then the last one from Cash Converters. This was a bit of a shot in the dark, because I wasn't 100% sure if I had this or not. I think I knew I had it already, and I do already have it. I probably bought it a couple of times, to be fair. I knew I had the PlayStation 2 version and the Wii version. But yeah, PlayStation 3 version I wasn't 100% sure on. But I think I had an idea that I'd already got it. But it was cheap anyway. $1.99 paid for it. Call of Duty, World at War. It's a really good game. Amazing game, to be fair. But yeah, paid £2 for it. CEX is selling this at the moment for £3.50. And I think I might have even had it in the footage. I think it was in that CEX that I was in before. And yeah, £3.50 at the moment. So yeah, this is one of my more sort of favourite Call of Duty games. I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan. But World at War was really good. sort of campaign to it. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was the last one from Cash Converters. Moving on to the CEX ones. So yeah, a few games from CEX. I've not been finding a huge amount of games in CEX recently, just because, I don't know, maybe, I think I've said this before, that the games that I'm sort of looking for are, I've probably exhausted all the cheaper options, if you like, from CEX at the moment. However, that being said, I mean, Xbox 360 does seem to be price-wise going down a little bit, so it's making some of those games that I haven't got a little bit more affordable again. So I think I've done that with some of the game, well, one game in this lot. But yeah, just not a huge amount picking up from CEX recently. So what did I get? So the first one from CEX was on the PlayStation 2, Midnight Club. Yeah, I've not played this PlayStation 2 version of this yet. It's the first time I've had it, actually. I've played it on PlayStation 3 and really enjoyed it, actually. Midnight Club 2, it's really good. So yeah, I thought, let's pick up Midnight Club on the PlayStation 2. It's a really similar front cover, actually, to the sequel. So at first I wasn't sure, which is this Midnight Club 2 just on PlayStation 2, but it's not. It's just the first game. So yeah, it was, it's not a bad game at all on the later consoles. So I thought I'd pick it up and give it a go. Nice condition as well. £3 paid for that one. And then I also picked up this game. Excuse me. So I do actually already have this game. I picked it up. I think I picked it up from Whitby CEX before it shut down. About 2 years ago I picked this up. And yeah, Whitby CEX, I think it was literally like a day or two before that CEX was shutting down. So there's no CEX in Whitby anymore, which is a shame. It was one of the games I went there specifically to sort of get while we were on holiday. But the version that I got from there was really not great. So it's been on my mind to replace that copy for a bit. And it's actually just come down in price a little bit. So it's gone down to £5. And that game is Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. And this one is in far better condition than the one that I've got. So the one that I had, the box was broken and it didn't have a manual and the disc was a little bit scratched. Why did you pick it up then? I don't know. I just was on holiday and just wanted to get something, and because it was the last couple of days of that CEX, I just felt like I'd asked to have a look at it, and I just felt like I had to pick it up anyway. So anyway, yeah, this is a much better copy of it, and it's now £5 as well. So yeah, happy to get that one and get a proper copy of this, really, because that one was just awful. Yeah, it just wasn't worth. I mean, it is on the shelf, but it's kind of hidden away a little bit. One of those. So yeah, happy to get that one. Next one was an Xbox 360 game. I had this in my original collection, loved it, sold it. But yeah, happy to re-add this one in. I think it's come down in price, this, because it's not a rare game or anything like that. You don't see it every CEX, but it's not particularly rare. And yeah, I saw it at this price today, £6 paid for this one. And I'm pretty sure it's come down quite a bit. I think it might have gone up to probably about 14, maybe 12, something like that. But at £6, I thought, let's get this now, let's grab it. And it is Earth Defence Force 2017. And I remember really, really enjoying this game. I think I had Earth Defence Force on the PlayStation 2 as well at one point. And this then sort of came out on the Xbox 360. I think the PS2 version was a bit more sort of well received compared to this one, which is kind of like a sequel, I guess. But I just remember really enjoying this, and I'm sure there was a two-player. Was there a two-player on it? There is a two-player. I remember playing it in two-player at some point with somebody, and it was good fun. So yeah, just it's basically Starship Troopers in a way, but on Earth, and with, like, UFOs and robots as well. But yeah, it's basically just shooting bugs, and lots of them. Good fun, dumb but fun, as I always say. That's my kind of game. So yeah, happy to grab that one. And then the very last pickup of the week was this one. Surprised it's taken me this long to pick this game up. I don't think this is particularly. I think this is the price it's been for a while, to be fair. So I just saw it today and thought, let's get it now. Let's get it in. And these CEX games I all used a voucher for, so I kind of got them for, it's not free, is it? But, you know, I used a voucher for it, so I didn't pay cash. And that last game is Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3. And yeah, happy to get this one in. Do like the Rogue Squadron games. The first game on the N64 is excellent. The second game on the GameCube was one of the main reasons for me getting a GameCube. And this was the sort of direct sequel to that one. And it's, to a degree, it's more of the same with that, except you also have the sort of on-foot sections, which, from what I remember, kind of let it down a little bit. They're not that well executed. You can sort of see some of those moments on the back of the back cover. But yeah, the on-foot sections were not brilliant. From what I remember, they're almost a bit like, there's a game called Rebel Assault, which was like a PlayStation 1 game, and there's like on-foot sections, but yeah, they weren't great. But overall, you know, this is still not a bad game at all, really. So yeah, happy to get that one into the collection. And it's also prompted me to maybe think about soon doing my Star Wars gaming special. So keep your eyes open for that one. So those are the pickups for this week, and I am overall quite sort of happy. It's nice to just get back out, you know, on a simple go to the high street and see what you can find. Mixed results, I guess, in a way, but I am happy to get that one finally. Happy to get that one in as well. And yeah, I think there's a couple of bonus ones in there. That's not a bad one to have at the price that I've paid for it. And yeah, the others maybe were just kind of, well, it's that a nice price, let's just pick it up anyway. Yeah. I mean, Titanfall's a great game though, so I am happy with that one. The disappointing one though is that Jurassic Park. I don't know, just none of the other games really clicked with me, so I think I will probably play the SNES game. I might play the Game Boy version again, but then look to get this traded in as quickly as possible, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what more they could do with this collection, but when you sort of see it, you just sort of think, was it worth it? Was it worth doing a collection of these games? Not sure. If you've played this, let me know what you think. Are any of the others actually worth playing through? You know, the Mega Drive games. I'm not convinced, but I will defer to your judgment. Let me know if any of them are worth playing through. But I'll certainly probably play the SNES version and the Game Boy game and then try and get it traded in, I think. Not sure on that one. Anyway, thank you for watching, as ever. If you've got any comments on any of those games that I've picked up, let me know. Just drop them in the comments. I will always try and reply. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.